Hi everyone! So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a crash course on note-taking. We're going to go over why note-taking is important, we're going to talk about 5 different methods to use when taking notes, and we're going to talk about some tips and tricks that you can use to make note-taking just easier overall. So first we're going to talk about why notes are important. Basically, they help you remember what you learned in class. It's really easy to go home and relax and then go to do your homework and totally forget what you learned in class. This is just a great way to recall the information while you're at home. This also keeps your thoughts, ideas, and questions organized, and notes are a great resource for reviewing. It's so much easier to review a couple of main points rather than an entire novel. Also keep in mind that I'll probably be asking you to use specific methods of note-taking throughout the year for different assignments, so you can refer back to this video to kind of remember how to use each method. This will also give you plenty of options for note-taking just in your regular life or in your other classes. You can find which one works best for you and then use it all the time. Alright, so I've got 5 different note-taking methods for you, the first of which is the Cornell method. Basically what you do here is you split your page into 3 different portions, the note-taking area, the cue column, and your summary. This is an easy way to weed out your main ideas, and it provides a space for you to summarize what you just learned. So you'll take your main notes in the note-taking area. This is for your definitions and your themes and your ideas, and then the cue column on the left is for your main overarching ideas, and also whatever questions you might have that you want to remember for later. Then once you're done with those 2 sections, at the very bottom you'll write 1 or 2 sentences to summarize whatever it is you just took notes on. The next method I have for you is the mapping method. This one is a bit more visual. It's fairly concise, as you only have so much room to write in, and it also helps you separate your main ideas from your subpoints, from your details, in a fairly smooth way. So as an example, let's take Romeo and Juliet. Let's say we're taking notes over the characters. So characters will be your main point here. Then your subpoints will be the different characters. So the first one here will be Romeo. Then you'll want to go into details about Romeo's character. So you'll write those below that. Then you'll move on to your next subpoint. In this case, it is Juliet, and you'll give details about her. And so on and so forth until you have written about all the different characters you want to. The next method I have for you is the outline method. It's very similar to mapping, but it's a bit less visual. It's very good for practicing the way you write essay outlines, though, so it's a great thing to learn whether you're going to use it daily or not. So fairly similar, again, you've got your main subject at the top, Romeo and Juliet. Then you have your main point here, which is characters. Then you move on to your subpoint, a little bit further indented. So you've got Romeo, and then you're going to write his character details just slightly more indented as well. Then you'll move back to the next subpoint, which is beneath the Romeo point at the top. Basically, they all line up in these columns of main point, subpoint, and details. And that is how you'll write your notes for the entire lesson or subject in that format. The next method I have for you is the sticky note method. It's pretty straightforward. You simply find the portion in the text you want to take a note on, write your note down on a sticky note, and then stick it to that portion of the text. It makes it really easy to locate your notes within the textbook, and it's also fairly visual. For instance, you could write all of your questions on blue sticky notes, and all of the things about themes on yellow sticky notes, and so on and so forth. You can simply personalize this to fit your individual needs. The last method I have for you is the note card method. Basically, you'll take a note card, and on the front of the note card, you'll put down a quote, whichever quote you from the text that you want to write a note about. And then you'll put the page number after the quote so that you can find it within the text later. On the back of the card, you'll write down whatever note you have. This could be a main idea, a thought, or a question. And then you can bind all of your note cards together with one of those binder rings if you like. It'll help you keep them all in one place. So this is just another variation on note-taking that you might find useful. Lastly, we're going to go over some tips and tricks on how to make note-taking easier in general. Basically, just utilize symbols and abbreviations. You don't have to write down entire words, especially if they're long or unnecessary. So for instance, the word because is a long word, and you can shorten it fairly easily and still know what it means. This is a great opportunity for you to use your texting lingo and abbreviations. Basically, your notes just have to make sense to you. As long as you understand what you are writing and you remember the information, that's really what matters in the long run. So I hope that these were all helpful for you. We'll definitely be using all of them throughout the year, so make sure you refer back to this if you ever need help remembering what they were. That's all I really have for you on this. I'll see you all very soon.